Roxbury are taking a new step to close the digital divide. Thanks to a new website introduced today by Fleet Boston and Inner City Software, people in the community have more reason to use the internet for business and information. The site provides news and community comment along with links to local businesses and information about computer training.
So by launching Roxbury.com, that means that the community has access to information about the community, real estate, jobs, restaurants could let you know what's going on that week in their restaurant. So it really is another way to keep people linked. They have to have something interesting to go to.
And joining us as our guest is the founder of Inner City Software, Ken Granderson. Thank you very much for being with us.
Glad to be here.
We know what Fleet has done here. Tell me what your company has done to make this page possible. Not a page or website possible.
Website, yes. Inner City Software built the entire system. We built all the interactive features that allow community residents and community organizations to post their news and their announcements, to list themselves in a directory, and also allow the residents in the Roxbury community and anywhere on the web actually to read that information.
Of course, I guess this is one of the things about closing the digital divide. Anybody can plug into a provider and look at what other people are doing or what people are selling you. But this way, I guess you're trying to change the landscape as well.
Absolutely. We are changing the landscape by enabling organizations who are doing incredible work, but they don't know how to promote themselves. They're not thinking like marketeers. They're just doing their work. Well, now they have the ability to just go out on Roxbury.com, and when they are helping people find jobs, they can put an announcement when they have their award ceremony, for instance, and it doesn't cost them money. They don't have to do printing. They don't have to send out, they don't have to pay 34 cents for invitations. They can do it all electronically, and they can do it for free.
Let's say a typical parent who might have children in school, you want them to learn something about computers, but you want to even go a step beyond that and look for some ways to help them yourself. What could that kind of a person get from a site like this?
A parent, there are a number of things that a parent could do. A parent could look at, we have an education section. A parent could go into the education section as it develops further and find links to educational resources, look at events that have been posted that deal with education, whether they're parent-teacher conferences, there are issues with dealing with the Boston Public Schools, for instance. There are people who are into homeschooling, and they might find information on homeschooling, as well as connecting to other parents in discussion groups to share triumphs, challenges, and solve problems together.
Discussion groups, I guess, they're rather dicey. Sometimes you don't get enough of anything, let alone the right thing, and sometimes you get too much of the wrong thing. How have you tried to guard against those things?
Well, I'd say we have two forms of discussion groups that are going to be on Roxbury.com. The first form of discussion group will be very focused. It will be tied to a special interest area, such as education, politics, career. The other kind of discussion group will be more free-form, whatever is on your mind. And the former is what we've been doing for the past 5 years now, called Boston Blacks Online, which has 600 members, and they are all going to be the charter members of Roxbury.com.
It looks as if you've really done a lot of legwork to not just have the site sit there and wait for something to happen.
Absolutely. We have been pounding the pavement, so to say, to help community organizations learn how to post their information on the site. To date, we've held, I believe, 6 sessions. We've trained about 40 people from different organizations, and we sit them down in front of computers. We walk them through joining the site, posting their events or announcements. And to post, you don't need to know HTML and XML, all these MLs. You don't need to know how to use web authoring tools. You just need to know how to use a web browser and how to type the information right into the page.
But I think, I guess one thing that is required, if you're really going to transform the internet, you do have to take some time, and you do have to, I guess, give attention, in this case, really just to your own community.
Absolutely. And the good news about that is that there are quite a few people who are already doing different kinds of work in the community. They just sort of fall under the radar of the larger media, the different activities that you and I will hear about, because they may serve a very small population that maybe that population isn't making big headlines, but they're really changing people's lives. So there are a lot of folks who are very community focused. And
I know this is also an opportunity for almost anybody in the community who does this too, to hone their own community building skills, literacy skills, all kinds of things. And if you go to the site today, you're going to see one thing, but I guess there are better things to come too.
absolutely. Starting as soon as next week, you're going to see a very bright, fresh, airy visual enhancement. And we have technical features that we're building into the site. Our company is primarily a technology firm, which is one of the reasons why we're looking for interested community activists to help us with the information. But we're building features into the site that will help people post information to Roxbury.com using Microsoft Word, for instance.
And the place to go, of course, is Roxbury.com. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
The founder of Inner City Software, Ken Granderson, will have more news after this message.